The last big question is when to do a usability test. At Validately, we have a very strong opinion that the best time to do usability testing is at the prototype stage. Let me highlight one stat that explains why. It's been estimated by an IBM research report that it's somewhere around 200 times more costly to change a coded feature than to change a prototype. Keep in mind, it's not just the labor hours that go into this cost. There's also a huge opportunity cost in having an engineer recode the same feature twice or maybe even 3 or 4 times. If they're working on that same feature, fixing that same feature, they're not building something new into the product. They're not moving the product forward. They're just fixing what has already been done. So it's very, very costly from a labor perspective and from an opportunity cost perspective to not do your usability testing until you get into live code. So let me highlight this with just a couple of kind of key points on prototype versus live page testing. Much faster to make changes at the prototype stage. This is obviously indisputable. Very easy to change the design in some of the design tools, move some things around, and so much faster to changing. Cheaper, therefore, to do changes. You can just make some changes in one of the design tools as opposed to have to actually have it coded up and schedule it and put it into the sprints, etc. Therefore, much more iterations. You can test different things. You can run different experiments. Say, you know, this might fix. I'm not sure, but let's run an experiment and test this because it's very easy to create a new prototype. And here's the real thing, the real interesting thing: the quality of response. This is probably the #1 reason why people believe that you should need to wait till it's a live page that's coded up before you can run a test. The truth is that the quality of response you get from a high fidelity prototype, whether you use Validately's prototyping tool or other prototyping tools that are out there, some great prototyping tools that are out there that let you create real high fidelity clickable prototypes, you can get great quality of response from a usability testing perspective. Is this task achievable? Is it intuitive? You can absolutely do that at the prototype stage. The quality of response is very high. So it's faster, cheaper, much more iterations, and you get a good enough quality of response from a usability perspective with a high fidelity prototype.